JBN, we keep you informed. I am Michelle Jones, and in the news, teen hospitalized after being shot in Manchester. A 16-year-old boy has been hospitalized in serious condition after he was shot in Newhall, Manchester, on Tuesday afternoon. According to information received, about 4 o'clock, a man entered a bar and began firing at the female bartender. He continued firing as he exited the establishment. It was later discovered that the teenager was shot in the back. Woman chopped by man during altercation in May Pen. The Clarendon Municipal Corporation, the local authority responsible for issuing vending permits, says it is aware of yesterday's incident, where a female vendor was chopped several times by a male vendor following an altercation in May Pen. The corporation says it wishes to make it clear that the vendors were applying their wares illegally in the space, and the area, which is a no vending zone, is being overrun by vendors. The incident, which took place in the vicinity of the Bargain Village, sent other vendors and shoppers running for cover after an off-duty police officer in the area had to fire several shots to ward off the man. He was later arrested and taken to the Maypen police station. It's understood that the incident was a culmination of a week-long argument between the two, who were arguing over space. The woman remains in hospital with chop wounds to her head and upper body. The man was celebrating his birthday yesterday. A ghost heads St. James's most wanted list. St. James gangster Shani Luton, who was reportedly killed in a gangland feud in Haiti in 2019, tops the list of 31 most wanted men who have been placed on the radar of the newly formed St. James Police's Divisional Fugitive Apprehension Team, DFAT, which has been tasked to track down and apprehend violence producers. Luton is still on the list because, while we got reports from our counterparts in Haiti that he was killed there in a gang feud, it has not been confirmed by scientific evidence, said St. James's commanding officer, Superintendent Vernon Ellis, who is leading the initiative. He'll be kept on the list until we're able to prove conclusively through DNA that he's dead. Luton was awaiting sentencing for double murder when he escaped custody and, based on police intelligence, fled the island to Haiti, where he reportedly had ties via his illicit guns for drug trade connections. In addition to Luton, the list consists of 11 other men who have been implicated in murders. The list is completed by one man who is wanted for attempted murder, 5 men wanted for shooting, 9 for wounding, 2 for assault, 1 for escaping custody, and 1 for rape. The fugitive team is assigned exclusively to track and facilitate the arrest of criminals who are wanted in the parish of St. James, said Ellis. Even though the team operates in St. James, the DFAT also crosses divisional boundaries on the trail of criminals. Fabian Killikilly Morris, who was elevated to the list briefly after he allegedly shot and killed Marvin Holness in Niagara Square, on Friday, February 5, was tracked down and captured in Arcadia District in southern St. James. At the time he was held, he was found with a black and chrome Taurus 9mm pistol loaded with 18 rounds of ammunition in his waistband. Among the men wanted for murder are renowned gangsters O'Dane Brown, otherwise called Bummy Squeeze, Romaine Thorpe, otherwise called Dutch, Marshall Dillon, otherwise called Jesus, Oran Dunn, otherwise called Mike, wanted for double murder, and Sanjay Nelson, otherwise called O'Deary. Among the well-known gangsters wanted for shooting are Kevin White, otherwise called Chuck Don, Javon Campbell, otherwise called Cooking Oil, and Sheldon Gray, otherwise called Yellow Tape. These men are considered armed and dangerous, and it is in the best interest of the public not to have these men operating in their communities. So if they are seen, the police should be immediately alerted, said Ellis, who earlier this year branded the renowned violence producers as terrorists. We cannot have a safe St. James with these guys running around and shooting people. It should be interesting to note that the average age of the men wanted for murder and shooting is approximately 25 years old and are predominantly from inner city communities in northwest St. James, the constituency of National Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang. While St. James is largely considered a nursery for cold-blooded killers, it has also been a graveyard for high-profile gangsters, many of whom have died in gun battles with the security forces. Last year, Delano Preckyboy Wilmot, who was arguably the most elusive gangster St. James has produced, was killed at his secret hideout in Cambridge in a confrontation with the security forces. ending his 4-year reign of terror, which included several gun battles with the police. 306 new COVID cases in Jamaica, 3 more deaths. Jamaica recorded 306 new cases of COVID-19 and 3 additional deaths yesterday, bringing the total number of confirmed cases to 39,543 and the confirmed death toll to 599. According to the Ministry of Health and Wellness, the latest deaths are 3 women, 2 from St. James, ages 76 and 33, and the third, a 30-year-old woman from Portland. The 33-year-old woman's death was previously reported under investigation. Meanwhile, the ministry also reported 5 more deaths under investigation and another death as coincidental. Of the 306 new cases, there were 154 females and 146 males with ages ranging from 4 months to 98 years. The sex of 6 of the new cases was reported under investigation. The cases were recorded in Kingston and St. Andrew, 129, St. Catherine, 88, St. James, 22, Westmoreland, 19, Clarendon, 16, St. Anne, 8, St. Thomas, 7, Hanover, 4, St. Elizabeth, 4, Manchester, 3, St. Mary, 3, and Trelawney, 3. The country also recorded 127 recoveries, bringing the total number of recoveries to 17,725. Dark and dangerous roadway in Hanover gets streetlights. Motorists who traversed the previously dark and dangerous stretch of roadway between Orange Bay in Hanover and the resort town of Negril in Westmoreland have welcomed the installation of 10 LED streetlights along the thoroughfare. After years of failed attempts, the lights were last week installed by the Jamaica Public Service JPS Company Limited. We appreciate the efforts of the Councillor Marville Sewell, who initiated the whole idea, because you have some deadly corners on that stretch of road where a lot of accidents normally happen, said Carlton Samuels, a Jamaica Cooperative Automobile and Limousine Tours JCAL bus operator. Among those who have lost their lives at the accident hotspot is a prosecutor from the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, ODPP, members of the Jamaica Constabulary Force, and hotel workers. Words can't explain how I feel right now. First, I have to say thanks to the Minister of Local Government, Desmond McKenzie, because in 2017 when I wrote him, I requested the lights for this thoroughfare. Within 3 weeks he responded, and I've had to wait until 2021 for these lights. Sewell, who was elected councillor for the Green Island Division in 2016, said. In 2018, the local government ministry gave formal approval for the lights to be installed, but there were several setbacks. On one occasion, half of the 10 approved streetlights were instead installed in the neighbouring parish of Westmoreland. With all 10 approved streetlights finally installed last week, Sewell explained that there is still more work to be done. He said that motorists have asked why the entire thoroughfare was not lit and explained that additional secondary lines and equipment, as well as additional streetlights, would first need to be installed. He added that he has already made representation for another 40 streetlights needed to cover the 6-kilometer roadway from Orange Bay to Negril. When you're born and you grow in the area you represent, it makes it easier for you to know the plight of the residents. This is something that they always say to me, Councillor, all I want you to do is to get that thoroughfare lit. I made them a promise and I kept it, so I'm elated, he said. 88% of COVID vaccine target met for March. Minister of Health and Wellness, Dr. Christopher Tufton, says as of Wednesday, 41,901 people have been inoculated through the government's vaccination program. Tufton, who gave the update today during a press conference, said this represents 88% of the ministry's target for the first month of vaccination. Residents started receiving the first dose of the AstraZeneca vaccine on March 10. Tufton noted that in week 3, 53% of the 19,580 target, some 10,307 people, was reached. He added that so far for week 4, 2,254 people have been vaccinated. The target is 9,447. The Health Ministry is ramping up efforts to meet its targets, with a second vaccination blitz scheduled for this Saturday at the National Arena in St. Andrew. The blitz is a mass vaccination plan seeking to administer the COVID jab to 1,000 people in a day at a single location. Plans are also in place for another 25 vaccination blitzes over the next 3 months. The locations for the vaccination blitz scheduled for the weekend of April 9 will include the National Arena in Kingston and St. Andrew. Celebration Church, Portmore, the Social Development Commission SDC Office, St. Thomas, Montego Bay Convention Center, St. James, Lucy Anglican Church, Hanover, Denby Showground, Clarendon, St. Mark's Anglican Parish Church, Manchester, St. Matthew's Anglican Parish Church, St. Elizabeth, Bahia Principal Resort, St. Anne, Trelawney Multipurpose Center, Trelawney, Gale Civic Center, St. Mary, and Folly Oval, Portland. And JBN, we keep you informed. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.